couple hours after I recorded yesterday's program, I heard about what had happened, which is the reason that the podcast yesterday was totally devoid of any acknowledgement of what happened in Uvalde, Texas. But here we are. It reminds me that there was a time not so long ago when the parents of 20 children were gathered in a room in the back of a firehouse, and they were told that their kids were dead. And according to the New York Times, you could hear the screams of the parents outside the building. The shrieks and screams. That was a decade ago in Newtown, Connecticut. Once again, yesterday, the screams, I'm sure, they haven't faded. 19 more children killed in Uvalde, Texas, 2 adults killed. It's just incomprehensible. It's my understanding now that all of the killing took place in one classroom, a death chamber, one classroom, 4th graders. One classroom that was turned into an abattoir, into a slaughterhouse, into a death chamber. 84% of Americans I've read support universal background checks when somebody goes to buy a weapon. But the fascist Christians in the Congress say no. It would infringe on this bullshit Second Amendment, and it is a bullshit Second Amendment the way it's been interpreted by the fascist Christians. It is a lying, fucking bullshit Second Amendment. I've said before, I'd be willing to provide any Second Amendment nutfuck who wants a weapon similar to the one in existence when the Second Amendment was written. I will sell my fucking house to go buy the money to give you as many of these single-shot black powder guns as your worthless ass wants to collect in your shithole of a house. But don't hide behind the Second Amendment, you cowardly bastards, and try to tell those of us who still have a brain that the Second Amendment includes weapons of mass death, military-style weapons that have been developed over the past 200-plus years by the crazy fuckers in this country. Second Amendment. So the lawmakers in the House and the Senate in D.C., and on the state level too, are content with more child slaughter, or people who have gone to a grocery store, or people in a synagogue, or in a church with an Asian congregation, or a church with a black congregation. There's a pattern there. Do you notice it? The Christian fascists are devoid of anything that might have been said by the rabbi from Nazareth 2,000 years ago. The fascist Christians are content with the way things are, so they don't change. Nick Kristof, in a column in the Times, back in 2017, the church shooting that left 26 people dead in a church, 26 people. Remember that? And he wrote a column entitled How to Reduce Shootings, plural. And one of the sentences from that column is this. Kristof wrote, quote, "This is the blunt, damning truth. The latest shooting was 100% predictable," end quote. Again, I'm going to rely on other people's voices today because I don't know, just questioning why I even want to stay in the United States. I love the country, but I can't stand the scene, which was one of One of the lines from a song by Cohen. If you want to be an American, though, you've got to understand that you're going to live among guns and mass death, random mass death. And our government simply will not do what the people are begging it to do, what people are dying for, what children are being slaughtered for when it doesn't act. The security of our kids in school does not exist. The security for people who go shopping or go to their religious services, that security does not exist. And as Leonard Cohen said, I love the country, but I can't stand the scene. That's how I feel. There is no reason for people who can leave the United States not to do so. There really isn't, because, and I say that as an observer for the past 40 years, what I've seen, what I see happening. Democracy in this country is about to end, to be replaced by a religious insanity perpetrated by Christians. Christians, can you believe that? Christians. Madness. Madness. So yet again, as I have many times over the past 20 years, I question, why are you staying here, Malloy? There's no reason for it. No reason at all. When you have a government that is run by insane people of a religious faction that is bloody, horrifying, destructive, you have a judicial system that can't find its ass with both hands, at the top of which sits a fascist Supreme Court. You have an economic system that continues to pummel and torture people by grossly underpaying them, overworking them, laughing at them. You have a 0.1% that is so fucking greedy and so determined to snatch it all that it makes Russian oligarchs look like pikers. And we're a country that, when the Spirit moves us, we will fucking invade other countries and kill. We will slaughter. We will blow them up. We will blast their buildings into nothing. We will introduce them to shock and awe. We will use cluster bombs. We will use poison, like Agent Orange. We will use the fires of hell, jellied gasoline, napalm. What the fuck? Ukrainian President Zelensky felt compelled to send a message of sympathy and solidarity with the United States in the aftermath of that school shooting. Zelensky tweeted this morning, quote, "Deeply saddened by the news of the murder of innocent children in Texas. Sincere condolences to the families of the victims, the people of the U.S., and President Biden over this tragedy. The people of Ukraine share the pain of the relatives and friends of the victims and all Americans." End quote. And that message came after the Ukrainian Foreign Minister, Dmytro Kuleba, had tweeted earlier, quote, "We stand in solidarity with you at this difficult time," end quote. The Catholic Pope called for gun control after the massacre. I don't know why I'm quoting the Pope, but what the fuck. He said, quote, "My heart is broken over the massacre at the elementary school in Texas. I pray for the children and adults who have been killed and their families. It's time to say no more to the indiscriminate traffic of arms, Let's all take action so that these tragedies do not happen again, end quote. Let's all take action. Mr. Pope, you don't understand the American political system. You don't understand the Christian fascists in this country. And you never will. The NRA is holding its annual meeting this weekend in Houston. It's going to start Thursday night when all these redneck fuckers get together and get drunk, and the prostitution business in Houston has a field day with these Christian white fascist bastards. And it runs through Sunday at the George Brown Convention Center. And the NRA website, the event website at the NRA describes the Texas meeting as one that is hosting, quote, Patriots for a freedom-filled weekend for the entire family as we celebrate freedom, firearms, and the Second Amendment, end quote. Nazi fuckers, everyone, cowardly, scared of their own shadow, chicken shit, white male, mostly assholes. That's what they are. Cowards. Thugs, bums. But mostly cowards. Everyone who's a member of the NRA is a goddamn coward. I don't give a shit how they dress up and pretend like they're men. They're not men. They're cowardly little pricks who are terrified of their own shadows. And as far as the rhetoric at the website, freedom, firearms, Second Amendment, the shitheads who attend this will be prohibited from bringing their firearms to the forum on Friday afternoon when the orange vomit will speak. Donald Trump, kind of like Putin, who's terrified that his own followers are going to shoot him full of holes. Trump's the same way. That's the security notice from the Secret Service, who will be present at this convention of jack-offs to protect the orange vomit. Wouldn't you think that this filthy convention of murderous cowards would be canceled in the wake of the worst school massacres in Sandy Hook in 2012? Wouldn't you think? Beto O'Rourke, who is running against the sitting governor, this cowardly piece of shit, Greg Abbott. Beto O'Rourke tweeted today, quote, Governor Abbott, if you have any decency, you will immediately withdraw from this weekend's NRA convention and urge them to hold it anywhere but Texas, end quote. That will not happen. Remember Columbine? All those years ago? Colorado? What was it, 2 days after that massacre? These fucking cowardly white boys held their NRA meeting. How far away from Columbine? What was it, 50 miles, half an hour drive? What was it? These chicken shits, every single one of these white male Christian fascists, God, you people are just lower than low. And every one of you is just the biggest screeching little bitch coward that ever existed. Hi, Truth Seekers. Mike Malloy here. As you know, we've switched formats and are now broadcast exclusively on the Progressive Voices Network. So that means you get fewer program interruptions, no corporate commercials, and lots of profanity. But our format change also means some of our radio listeners no longer hear the program. It's been a while since I mentioned our podcasts, so you may have forgotten that there is a way to listen to this program anytime you need a good dose of screaming. Visit MikeMalloy.com and subscribe to our podcast. As a podcast subscriber, you can download the program to your mobile device and take me with you wherever you go. And if you have a friend who needs a dose of truth-seeking, you can give a gift subscription as well. That's MikeMalloy.com, and never miss a minute of the uncensored fun and frivolity.